One of Brooklyn's residential neighborhoods. A boy runs with his friend. Two other boys wait for them with a gun near some dumpsters. They head to a basketball court where a few guys are playing. The boys suggest the youngest of them shoot one of the gang members. The boy approaches with the gun and starts firing. Fortunately, no one gets hurt. Everyone scatters, including the boys who were with him. The boy sees this, throws the gun away, and runs off. A young delinquent, acting like nothing happened. He goes home, grabs a soda, watches something on TV, and then feeds his pigeons, which he keeps in homemade cages in his room. Over time, this boy has numerous run-ins with the police for public drunkenness, vandalism, fighting, assaults, theft, and robbery. Eventually, he is sentenced to time in a New York juvenile detention center. A few years later, two young trainers, Teddy and Kevin, ask an older colleague, who had trained several boxing champions, to take a look at the boy they recently brought in. The boy has been arrested 40 times. The coach is shocked. Even Al Capone wasn't arrested 40 times. But he agrees to see the boy, whom even his mother has given up on. The coach meets a strong 14-year-old with a powerful punch but no technique or style. Kevin mentions that the boy arrived scrawny and thin, then jokes with the coach, asking what he fed him. The coach replies, "Cola and steroids, as always." The older trainer asks, "What's the boy's name?" Kevin replies, "Mike." Cus D'Amato asks for the boy's full name, Mike Tyson. Mike and the trainer head to Cus' home. Mike will live with him now. At the house, Cus introduces Mike to Camilla, the lady of the house. She wasn't thrilled, another mouth to feed. But Cus assured her that the $200 they'd get for taking care of Mike would help. Cus showed Mike to his room and explained a few rules, the main one being cleanliness. Another rule was not to eat his ice cream. Mike's life takes on a disciplined, athletic routine. Waking up at 4 a.m., running, and training. The trainer focuses on victories, motivating him with inspiring speeches and stories. Cus even shows him videos of great fighters, including Muhammad Ali. Young Mike eagerly watches and studies every move. His eyes burn with passion as he and Cus analyze Rocky Marciano's fights. Cus emphasizes that success requires more than power. It also requires mindset. Marciano didn't understand defeat. It didn't register in his mind. Cus spends all his time with Tyson, planting in him a singular goal: to become a champion. His training involves honing techniques, speed, and tactical maneuvers to outwit opponents. Alongside training, Mike adjusts to his new life. He celebrates his birthday with his new family, but sneaks and eats Cus' ice cream without getting caught.
Who ate my ice cream?
Then, Mike learns of his mother's death. He returns to Brooklyn for her funeral, feeds his pigeons at home, and then takes them with him back to Cus' house. Cus tries to comfort Mike, sharing that a professional performs regardless of their emotions. He gives Mike a pendant gifted to him by Muhammad Ali, telling him to take it to the Junior Olympics. Mike's eyes light up. In 1982, at the Junior Olympics in Colorado, Mike enters his first competition. Nervous and doubting himself, he overcomes his fear with the support of trainer Teddy Atlas. During the fight, Mike knocks his opponent out in just 8 seconds, achieving victory. Teddy reports the victory to Cus. The old trainer, confused, asks, 8 rounds? But when Teddy clarifies, not rounds, 8 seconds, Cus, thrilled, jokes, "What did Mike do to the opponent? Shoot him?" As Mike's reputation grows, hunters of rising stars begin circling, eager to take the young prodigy under their wing. Cus instructs Teddy not to let Mike interact with anyone and to get him home at any cost. Cus tells Camilla that since Mike no longer has a mother, they should adopt him. When they return home, Mike proudly talks about his victory. Cus jokes, 8 seconds? Why so long? Before expressing how proud he is and revealing plans for adoption. Mike agrees and Camilla supports him, happy when Mike says he'd like to call her Mom. Sitting on the staircase, Mike sees Jimmy Jacobs and Bill Clayton visiting Cus. They are managers whom Cus deeply trusts. Mike overhears them discussing him as Cus predicts that Mike will become a heavyweight champion and secure a place in the Hall of Fame alongside Rocky Marciano. Camilla catches Mike eavesdropping and asks what he's doing. Cus calls him over, introducing Jimmy and Bill as honest men in the dishonest world of boxing. Mike rides with his friend Rory Holloway, discussing his future championship. Along the way, they spot 2 girls, and Mike decides to approach them, but the girls ignore him and eventually run away. Mike mistakenly thinks they ran into a store, enters, and causes a scene when the store owner calls the police. He smashes a display case in frustration, and his friend drags him out. They flee before the police arrive. Mike begins skipping training, frustrating Teddy, who complains that every time Mike messes up, he disappears for 3 or 4 days, making it a habit. Cus remains calm, convinced that Mike needs a positive environment to fulfill his potential as a champion. Teddy, however, accuses Mike of making advances toward every woman in the area, be it a classmate, a teacher, or, as Teddy's 11-year-old sister Jamie reveals, even her. When Teddy confronts Mike, he holds a gun to his cheek, furious about the incident with his sister. Mike denies it, claiming Jamie pursued him. Teddy, enraged, fires a shot into a tree at head level to scare Mike. Following the altercation, Cus expels Teddy from the camp. As Teddy leaves, Mike mockingly blows him a kiss. Cus appoints Kevin Rooney as Mike's new trainer. Under Rooney's guidance, Mike continues to win fight after fight, delivering knockout after knockout. His name begins to appear in newspapers, and Mike Tyson embarks on a global tour. Respect for Tyson grows exponentially. During one fight, Cus collapses and is rushed to the hospital. Mike visits him and pleads with him not to die, saying he can't do it without him. Cus tells Mike to keep fighting no matter what. With his final words, he jokingly warns Mike, "If you mess up, I'll come back from the grave to kick your butt." Mike cries, hugging his mentor. After Cus' death, Mike releases his pigeons with tears in his eyes. He confides in Jimmy, saying he doesn't understand what Cus saw in him or why he loved him. Jimmy reassures Mike, saying it was for his courage and huge fists, offering his support with a heartfelt embrace. Las Vegas, 1986. Tyson faces Trevor Berbick in a match that will determine the heavyweight champion of the world. Mike enters the fight with a special fury to avenge Berbick's brutal punches during Muhammad Ali's farewell match. This fight is dubbed Judgment Day. At just 20 years old, Mike becomes the youngest heavyweight champion in history. A new era of boxing begins. Mike and Kevin watch footage of his next opponent on TV. Kevin explains the tactics, but Mike switches the channel. Kevin tries to grab the remote but is punched in the jaw by Mike, who storms off, frustrated. Mike later sees a glamorous model, Robin Givens, on TV and becomes smitten. Jimmy tries to counsel Mike, but the young champion is focused on finding love and starting a family, just like Jimmy. Mike musters the courage to call Robin. Nervously rehearsing, he initially hangs up when she answers, but on his second try, he manages to invite her out. Robin agrees, and their relationship begins. She attends Mike's fight against Tucker in Las Vegas. During the fight, Mike misses many punches and, during a break, stares at Robin instead of listening to Kevin. To motivate him, Kevin quips that Robin doesn't care about his name. She just wants to be with the champion. If he loses, she'll leave with someone else that night. Fueled by this, Mike fights with renewed vigor and wins. After the match, Mike and Robin ride in a limousine. He calls her his queen, and she jokingly asks, "Queen for one night?" He replies, "For life." Later, Mike tells Camilla they got married, and Robin is already 3 months pregnant. Camilla is thrilled but speechless. Bill, their manager, takes the phone and informs them that Jimmy Jacobs has passed away from leukemia. At Jimmy's funeral, Mike is introduced to Don King, a sly promoter who has been eyeing Tyson for a long time. In the limousine, Don sows seeds of doubt about Bill's 30% share of Tyson's earnings and offers Mike easy fights for massive payouts. Although Mike says he'll think about it, the cracks in his trust begin to form. During the funeral, Bill asks Mike what Don King promised him. Mike lies, saying he immediately turned down Don's offer. However, Mike struggles emotionally and leaves the ceremony in tears. Kevin approaches him, asking how he's holding up. Mike admits that with money has come mistrust. People he once relied on now feel distant. Kevin questions if Mike trusts Bill and Robin. Despite his deep love for Robin, Mike confesses that trust and love aren't the same. Mike continues to fight and rack up victories, but Robin increasingly involves herself in his finances, sidelining Bill. Don King escalates the tension, accusing Bill of treating Mike like a black slave working for a white master. King constantly stirs controversy in the press, leveraging the racial angle. Influenced by King, Mike starts echoing similar sentiments, claiming black athletes should only work with black men. Contract disputes arise over Mike's earnings and Bill's commission. Don King shows his manipulative side by encouraging Robin to confront Bill, while privately calling her a ruthless snake, manipulating Mike with her pregnancy. Robin's fabricated pregnancy timeline starts unraveling. Eventually, after much maneuvering, Don King takes over as Mike's manager. One evening, a distraught Mike returns home to the news that Robin had a miscarriage. Mike's emotions are all over the place, affecting his training. Kevin confronts him about his tardiness, but Mike stares him down, visibly distracted. When Kevin insists he focus, Mike storms off the ring. Kevin, frustrated, loudly remarks that Robin's pregnancy was fake and calls out everyone around for not having the guts to tell Mike the truth. This sends Mike into a rage. He savagely beats his sparring partner and demands the next fighter step into the ring, giving them a 10-second head start before he unleashes on them. One after another, the sparring partners leave the gym, terrified. Atlantic City, 1988. Tyson faces Michael Spinks in one of the most anticipated fights of the year. A lawyer hands Bill a letter notifying him of his termination. Tyson enters the ring with an undefeated record of 34 wins, 30 by knockout. It's his 7th title defense. Kevin motivates Mike to fight for Cus and Jimmy. With celebrities like Chuck Norris, Jack Nicholson, and Sylvester Stallone in attendance, Tyson delivers a devastating knockout. The crowd roars with excitement as Mike cements his legacy. At Tyson's mansion, Robin and Mike give a joint interview. Unexpectedly, Robin reveals that living with Mike is a nightmare, claiming he suffers from manic depression and abuses her. Her shocking confession leaves viewers stunned, including Don King and Mike's friend, who are watching. Mike is furious and kicks Robin and her mother out of the house. Robin files for divorce, granting multiple interviews where she accuses Mike of physical abuse. She alleges that he knows how to hit without leaving marks and claims he threatened her life during arguments. Meanwhile, Mike begins spending more time in clubs and public events. Outside a nightclub, Mike is provoked by Mitch Green, a boxer he previously defeated. Green insults Mike, claiming the judges robbed him in their earlier fight and taunts him about his ex-wife. Enraged, Mike lands a punch on Green before leaving the scene. Tokyo, ahead of the fight with Buster Douglas. Japanese fans shower Tyson with admiration during interviews, calling him a boxing icon. However, Tyson arrives with a new team, having fired his original trainers under Don King's influence, including Kevin Rooney. Kevin watches the fight on TV, noticing Tyson's lack of discipline and preparation. During the 8th round, Tyson lands a knockdown on Douglas, but the referee counts too slowly, 12 seconds instead of 10, giving Douglas time to recover. Don King is livid, calling it the longest count in history. Douglas regains his composure, and in the 10th round, Tyson suffers the first knockout of his career. In the locker room, King argues over the count, threatening legal action. Mike returns home, emotionally drained, and reminisces about Cus. Sitting with Camilla, he spots a tub of ice cream and laughs, recalling Cus' rule never to eat his ice cream. Indianapolis. Tyson attends a rehearsal for the Miss Black America pageant, where the contestants are thrilled to meet him. During the event, he meets Desiree Washington and invites her to a party. However, the evening takes a dark turn when Mike brings Desiree to his hotel room under the pretense of picking up his bodyguard. Days later, Tyson is arrested for rape. A court sentences the former champion to 6 years in prison. The story ends here. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to catch more summaries. See you next time.